What's up guys? I'm Amanda, the Botanical Brunette, and welcome to my channel. So, it's been long overdue since my last plant tour. I need to show you guys all the plants that I got and how much my plant room has changed in over a year. It's been so long since I've done a plant tour for you guys. So I have gotten a lot of plants in the past year, and my plant room has grown exponentially. It has grown so much in the last year that my house is literally busting at the seams with plants. So I can't wait to show you guys all of my plants. I can't wait to show you guys my full collection of plants because I have a lot. I have upwards of 100 plants. And that's a lot for me. I usually try to keep it under 80, but somehow, maybe it was me buying plants last year, I went way over that amount, and now I'm at about 100 plants. So let's stop talking, let's get into it. Let's go see my plant tour and see how much my plants have changed over the past year. Before I get into my shelf, I want to show you this beauty. Believe it or not, this is actually as tall as I am. Okay, now on the top shelf is this gorgeous moonlight. I just love the foliage color on this plant. Next is the moonshine, which hasn't really done anything. And this calathea. The state of this calathea is probably what a lot of calatheas look like in some people's collection. But we're growing, so that's a good sign. Okay, so this Hoya actually has 3 different types of Hoyas in it. We have the Crimson Princess, the Crimson Queen, and even a Hoya Chelsea back here. And those creamy pink leaves are so pretty. The next shelf is home to this pretty traily Hoya. The splashy leaves on this are my absolute favorite. And back here is my Burl Marks. This is actually another plant that hasn't done much in a year. And here's a little sneak peek at a new plant that you'll see in my plant haul next week. Okay, maybe this is my favorite Hoya. You want to see something absolutely adorable? Look at that tiny little leaf. Oh my god, it's so cute. This maculata was a Lowe's rehab that only had 3 to 4 leaves on it, and now look at her. For some reason, this plant actually hates me. I'm not sure why, but it's like half struggling. This shelf is home to my humidity-loving plants, like this Maranta. Okay, now that's a better looking Calathea. This was actually one of my first Calatheas. I just love those stripy leaves. Ooh, another new plant. Introducing this Anthurium, which again you'll see in my next video, but this was actually a wishlist plant that I had to get. I'll admit something to you guys, the Mycans are actually starting to grow on me. I'm kind of loving how this is growing again. Shiny green leaves are what I love about this guy. Not many fenestrations yet, but we do have one split leaf in the back. So Brandy doesn't love me most days, but I do love her. The silvery variegation is just so pretty. My philodendron pink princess has grown pretty well over the last year, but it hasn't given me a lot of pink leaves except for these guys. This peperomia and I are still figuring each other out. Despite all that, I catch myself always looking at these watermelon leaves. Guys, it's finally growing! I never thought I would see the day. I can't wait for this to get big and traily. Here's Mariah for my OG followers. Her name is Mariah Carey because, well, she's a diva. Look how wild these stems are, like literally shooting each and every way. I love the Monstera Peru. Such a good plant. It's overcome a bad case of thrips, but it's back to good health now. I mean, I guess I can't complain about this one because it was free, but it also doesn't love me very much. So if you've seen other plant tours of mine, you'll know that the last shelf is actually kind of my hodgepodge, throw together plant shelf. But you'll see on the shelf that it's mostly like your drier climate plants. These plants are also those plants that I just cannot part with. I just love them too much, but I just don't know what to do with them. So I'm really loving this pothos on this wall planter. The way it's trailing up this frame is just such a vibe. And this beauty. I mean, I can't get enough of this plant. The leaves are so velvety and it's getting so big. This jungle boogie, or tiger tooth, is one of my no-fuss plants in my collection. If it wasn't so big and beautiful, I'd honestly probably forget about it. So onto these air plants. I didn't know what to do with this wall planter, but it fits these air plants so well. And I also stole the Spanish moss from a tree outside. Over on my record stand, we have this lush jade pothos. Oh, and some little propagations. If you don't know this from my socials or on here, I absolutely love the lemony variegation of Brazils. They're just so pretty. So the Stanleyana actually wasn't doing great in soil, despite that the soil was moist. The leaves were all curled up and it looked really thirsty. So I just took it out of soil and put it in water and it perked right up. So I don't understand. This might be one of those plants that I'm gonna have to plant in maybe a semi-hydro. Okay guys, I'm really just giving away my next plant haul for March. But here's another purchase that I made. I just love this trailing peperomia in this hanging planter. And here's some more air plants. In these gold hangers, I have mostly Hoyas. They just trail so well and look so good against the gold. I also have a silvery Ann in here as well that's trailing really good. I got this fern leaf back in March, I think last year, and it's grown so much. The leaves just got so much bigger since moving it into a sunnier window. And same goes for my Lunaris, just keeps sprouting shoots all the time. And guys, we even have some flowers. This is my very first Hoya to flower, so I'm so excited. And another plant that's loving the southeast window. I got so much variegation from it now. I pretty much had to start over with this rickrack cactus. So what I did is I kind of chopped it up and propagated it and planted it back, but I think it actually looks better than ever. And here's the showstopper. Ugh, just look at the size of those leaves. This is also one leaf that just unfurled for you guys. Okay, so this Sabrina wasn't the two that I showed you in my last plant haul. This is actually a third that I just bought. I couldn't help myself, but third time is a charm, hopefully. This beauty was actually rehomed to me and it has been pretty happy so far. So I had this boa in a dark corner. I know, shame on me, but I'm rehabbing it. Here's my Birkin from my air layering video. It hasn't really done much growing wise, but it's not dying, so that's a good sign. This cream splash is actually a collection of 3 different purchases / trades. One purchase was for a silver stripe, so one cutting may be that, but who knows, they're so identical. I just love the strappy leaves on this anthurium. And this guy is also flowering too. So I got this plant when it was so small, like a 2 2-inch leaf cutting small. Now look at her. I'm loving this Soderoy almost as much as my Gloriosum. I love its little flecks on the leaves. Oops, he got a little bent. Let me fix you. I had to move this Ordora away from the southeast facing window and kind of on the side because as you can see, it's only popping out white leaves. And how could you not love the fuzzy stems of this philodendron? How cute! Ah, my first rare plant. This was actually my gateway rare plant. But how could you not resist the variegation on these leaves? And of course, you have to have an OG Monstera in your collection. And it's adorable that this is Rue's favorite napping spot. This regal shield is a statement in my living room. We also have so many little baby plants all around this guy. So here's a very thirsty boy. I neglected it a little over the winter, but I'll get it back in shape. So this plant is actually pretty special to me. It was the first plant and really only plant my dad has ever bought me. I text him every now and then to let him know how it's doing. And it's also made the long drive back from New Hampshire to Florida. So I totally overpaid for this plant a year ago. I spent about $30 on basically a cutting, but it's been really fun to just watch it grow. So you'll notice in this plant tour that I have a lot of jade pothos cuttings. It's given me so many plants throughout my home, and this is one of them. This poor baby was actually wrecked by thrips last year, but it's recovering pretty well. Oh hey, here's the staghorn fern that I mounted a few weeks ago. So far, so good. I can't wait for this heart leaf to trail all over this trellis hanger. Although this plant hasn't grown much in the last year, it does live up to its reputation of a hard-to-kill plant. Here are some cuttings that actually reverted on my elbow that I planted. I just love the green ones almost as much. Here's yet another jade pothos cutting that I planted in this Hilton Carter planter that I got last year from Target. It's super cute. This snake plant is an offspring of my first plant ever. You'll see him momentarily. I've been battling spider mites on this palm for months, but I think we're in the clear since I haven't seen them in a few months, but the plant does have some damage. So this is another plant that was pretty infested, but with mealybugs. Both the palm and this one were infested from the store. I just didn't check it that carefully. Another really pretty strappy anthurium. And the only plant that I have still in Lekka. Here's my very first plant. His name is Oscar, and he has a very special place in my heart. See, I told you guys, I have a lot of jade pothos cuttings. This ZZ has been popping off all winter long, but doesn't really give me growth in the spring and summer. It's so weird. So I have these two marble queens on each side of my bed. Both are grown completely from cuttings. And of course, we have some more air plants. This plant sits above my desk, and I love it being in my face while I'm working. It's also distracting because I catch myself staring at it all the time. This little Raffy is an experiment, if you will. I'm trying to get this to trail instead of climb like my other one. And by far the biggest plant in my collection is this fiddle leaf fig. Last but not least, this plant was a plant that I actually thought I killed, but it miraculously came back to life. So I hope you all enjoyed that. That is my full collection through my entire house. If you guys have watched my last plant tour, you know that my plant collection has grown so much in the past year or two. Like, it is completely exploded, but honestly, I could not be more happy about literally everything that I've gotten in the past year and a half. And I'm just so excited to share this journey with you guys. Let me know in the comments what your favorite plant was. I want to see what you guys are loving or what plant kind of stood out to you in my collection, and maybe we can talk about it and stuff like that. I like to get geeky and talk plant with all of you guys. So that's it for today. I hope you guys all have a great day and stay botanical.